it's Lindy with a continuation of our movement improvement travel series. I am currently on a plane or in a car or on a train, or maybe I'm sitting at some sort of event where the seats are pretty dang uncomfortable and I have to be here for a while. So as you can see, I have a selection of balls. Now this one I grabbed because Debbie actually reminded me about this just before we shot this video. I did not take this on my trip to Australia because there's some at my parents' house, but this is a softer little 4-inch ball that's also great for travel. So I neglected to put that in my last video, but certainly if you have any of these yellow or blue kind of softish balls, those are great too. So let's talk a little bit about what we can do with these. So I have the yellow soft one, I have the pinky ball that I showed you in the last video, and then I have this firm large release ball that comes in a set like this, so it actually comes two together. We're not going to use the second one today, so I'll just put that down. So as we know, plane seats are pretty uncomfortable these days unless you have the benefit of lots of points and you can get into first class. That's not the case for most of us. So we got to make the best of it. And the longer you sit, the more uncomfortable it can get. And it also is a bit of a struggle. If you didn't get an aisle seat, to have to get up and get over people, it's not like you can move a lot in a plane and walk the aisles. There's always stuff like carts and other people, and now we can't stand up and wait by the bathrooms because there's a security thing about that. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do is, as you're sitting in your seat, find a way to fidget. So I use the balls to fidget. Fidgeting is actually a great thing if you've got to sit in one spot for a long time. So this is the pinky ball. This is a smaller release type ball. We use this a lot for feet. So that's certainly something you can do on a plane. You can take your shoes off, put this down on the floor, roll your feet around on it. We'll link to our foot release videos below this video so that you can see, get some suggestions about what you can do with your feet. You could also use this ball for the same purpose. So I won't go through that because we've already shown you that on another video. So one thing that you can do here is just place this ball anywhere underneath your thigh and just roll it around on the back. So you can start behind your knee. Sometimes I'll use a bigger ball under there and I'll just let my leg rest on that large ball just to give me a little bit of shift and change in position, and then I'll take the larger ball and I use either this one or the firm one, and then I'll just put it on the other side. So you can also roll and do release work with that one. With the pinky ball, you can also take it higher and higher and higher, taking it all the way up behind the outside of the femur bone or the upper leg bone, putting it up underneath the sit bone often will feel good, or just just in front of the sit bone. Taking it up underneath behind you and kind of wedging it into the back of the seat is also a great place. So you can take this ball all the way up. You can release your mid back, you can release your upper back, just rolling around on this ball. Some ideas with the larger balls, depending on how tall you are and how the seats are hitting you, you may find that the softer ball is useful just to give you some different support depending on where you need to be. So if you're shorter, sometimes having the ball a little bit higher up will stop your head from getting shoved forward by the seat. If you're a little bit taller, it's nicer to have it in the low back so that you get some support in the lower back. So it just depends on where you feel like you need some support. That, as we know, airplane seats are notorious for not giving us support where they need. And I'm never sure who they designed those seats for, but I know it wasn't me. But then everybody else I talk to say it wasn't them either. So my 5'2" friends say, well, they weren't designed for me, and my 6' friends say they weren't designed for me either. So airlines, who did you design your seats for? Because it doesn't seem to be any of us. So that's why we need all of these little devices. Sometimes I will use the larger ball up around my shoulder blade just to really kind of get in there and give me some release work and some support. And again, as I'm doing this, I'm fidgeting. So just play with all of these balls, figure out where you maybe need some support, where you're starting to feel a little bit of stiffness and tightness, and you're just going to hang out and release or change your position and just let yourself sort of melt over the ball. All those things are great to play around with When you are on a plane, on a train, in a car, just be careful. At security, sometimes you'll get a bit of a giggle or a funny look, but ignore that. It will make it through security. I'll see you in the next video.